Kevin Durant, MVP. Russell Westbrook, MVP. James Harden, MVP. The legacy of these three NBA superstars began a long time ago. Everything they are today is thanks to a day when they played together. But how, being three of the best scorers in the league and playing together, did they fail to win an NBA title? To tell you this today, we'll have to go back in time a bit. In a time when Oklahoma wasn't Oklahoma, the year in question was 2006, and the Seattle Supersonics had Ray Allen as their main player. The shooting forward, who, believe it or not, was the closest thing to today's Stephen Curry when he entered the NBA. He had joined in the 2002 to 2003 season for a 4-year contract with Seattle, averaging 26.4 points with a 40% three-point shooting. During his tenure, the Supersonics were an okay team. In 2007, after a disastrous season with 31 wins and 51 losses, they decided it was time for changes. They traded, at the end of the season, the current team star Ray Allen for Delano West, Wally Szczerbiak, and the 5th draft pick. Due to their poor performance, they also secured a good position in the draft lottery, ending up with the 2nd pick. At that time, there were good players in the 2007 draft, but the two standouts were Greg Oden, a 7'0" center, and Kevin Durant, a 6'9" forward. It's quite amusing to think that, to make it to the NBA listed as a forward, Durant often lied about his height. So we come to draft night. The first pick by the Portland Trail Blazers was Greg Oden. Leaving the obvious choice for the Seattle Supersonics of Kevin Durant, Oden was chosen first because the NBA saw the potential for a new Shaquille O'Neal in him. But even though Oden, touted by experts as having the most potential, it was Kevin Durant who stood out as the star in that struggling Seattle Supersonics team from the get-go. He averaged 20.3 points, 4.4 rebounds, and 2.4 assists to claim the Rookie of the Year award. No one understood how a guy playing as a forward, standing at 6 feet 9 inches, could have a good shot and dribbling skills, but the Supersonics did. And they saw that they got incredibly lucky that he fell to the 2nd pick. However, his team was incredibly weak, ending that first season with 20 wins and 62 losses. Due to the poor performance of that team, in the draft lottery for the 2008 season, they landed the 4th pick, allowing the Supersonics to choose the athletic guard Russell Westbrook. This pick was criticized for passing on names like Brook Lopez and Kevin Love, and even though the drafted guard's defense was questionable, they would draft another player, with the 24th pick in that same draft, Serge Ibaka. They believed it was a guard like Westbrook that the franchise needed to play alongside Durant on the Supersonics. Not Supersonics, but rather the Oklahoma City Thunder, as Westbrook never played a single game wearing Seattle's jersey. After the draft, the franchise was sold by Howard Schultz to the Professional Basketball Club, an investment group from Oklahoma, moving from Seattle to Oklahoma after 41 years of existence in the Washington franchise. The story behind the city change is extensive, so I'll save that for another video. Now in a new city, OKC didn't start well. They lost 26 of the first 30 games of the new franchise. However, they began to find their groove as the season progressed. The young talent started to showcase their skills. Westbrook was displaying all his athleticism with beautiful dunks and ended with an average of 16 points per game and 5 rebounds. KD was no longer just a promise, but a reality. He went from 20 points as a rookie to 25 points per game with 6.5 rebounds. But something was still missing from this team: depth in the rotation. So much so that they finished as the 13th seed in the West, providing them with the 3rd pick in the 2009 draft. It was the chance to bring the missing piece to this roster. The first pick was obvious. There were no doubts: Blake Griffin. But when it came to the 3rd pick for the Oklahoma City Thunder, nobody knew for sure. And they chose James Harden, another pick that was harshly criticized by the media. If you look closely, they passed on some names like Stephen Curry, who was the 7th pick, and DeMar DeRozan, who was the 9th pick. But putting aside the players not selected, young Harden with a short beard at the time was an excellent scorer with an incredible passing ability, able to playmaker off the bench. The missing piece for them, serving as the 6th man for this team. And that's how the Big Three was assembled. The 2009 to 2010 season was when the young Thunder team started gaining respect. He played all 82 games of the regular season. He now jumped to an average of 30 points, becoming one of the hardest players to guard, winning the regular season scoring title and being selected as an All-Star at the age of 21. To the dismay of the Portland Trail Blazers, Westbrook became more efficient, still with 16 points, but now with an average of 8 assists. And what impressed the most was how athletic he had become. Harden began to show up off the bench, albeit discreetly, with 10 points per game. And so they managed to jump from 23 wins in the previous season to 50 wins in the 2010 season. Even with many victories, they still ended up only 8th in the West. In the playoffs, they faced Kobe Bryant's Los Angeles Lakers, the top team in the conference, and it was a solid performance for the young squad in their first playoffs. KD and Russ played exceptionally well, and the series was tight, decided in detail in Game 6 with a layup by Paul Gasol on Kobe's rebound, giving the Lakers a 1-point victory. Despite the early elimination, expectations for the 2010 to 2011 season were extremely high. Their first season together was considered a near miss for the playoffs. Jeff Green, despite being an important piece on that team with 15 points per game, was traded mid-season for experienced center Kendrick Perkins, a former NBA champion with the Boston Celtics. In this season, Russell Westbrook took another step, averaging 22 points with 8.2 assists and 4.6 rebounds per game, showing significant improvement in defense. KD, I don't need to comment much, right? He continued with his averages of 27 points per game, a slight drop compared to the previous season, but justified by Westbrook's improvement. Now, Oklahoma had 2 players playing at an all-star level. James Harden had a slightly slower improvement, but still contributed with 12 points and 3 rebounds off the bench, remaining the best option as a 6th man. The Thunder improved their chemistry, winning 55 games in that season, officially becoming one of the best teams in the NBA. In the playoffs, they faced the Denver Nuggets led by Nene. However, Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook were in top form, easily defeating their opponents 4-1. In the second round, they faced the Memphis Grizzlies, a team that barely made it to the playoffs but surprised everyone by defeating the San Antonio Spurs in the first round. Even though Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook combined for over 50 points in almost every game, in Game 3, Dirk scored 18, in Game 4, Dirk scored 40, and in Game 5, he scored 28, eliminating the Oklahoma City Thunder 4-1. In the 2011 draft, the OKC drafted Reggie Jackson as the 24th overall pick in the first round. They didn't make any significant changes because they already had big stars on the team. And in the 2011 to 2012 season, the team showed what they were truly capable of. Kevin Durant, being Kevin Durant, was one of the best scorers in the league with 28 points per game. Russell Westbrook had his best season up to that point, averaging 24 points. The starting lineup was undoubtedly one of the top 3 in the NBA. But something was missing. Enter James Harden, who played so well as a 6th man that the coach offered him a starting spot, but he declined. This year, he won the 6th Man of the Year award, averaging 16.8 points, 4 rebounds, and 3.7 assists. At this moment, the 3 of them were at the peaks of their careers. They won 47 games and finished as the 2nd seed in the West, entering the playoffs to face the team that eliminated them in the previous season, the Dallas Mavericks. The trio accumulated 75 points and eliminated San Antonio Spurs in 6 games. We are celebrating our love for the NBA and want to gift you our amazing follower with an official jersey from the team you support. Participating is easy and quick. Here's how you can win. Step number 1. Go to our Free Throw TV channel and click on subscribe. We want you to be part of our passionate basketball community. Step number 2. Follow us on Instagram at freethrow_ and tag 2 friends in our official giveaway post. Share the NBA passion. We will announce the lucky winner on our channel and Instagram. Stay tuned. Don't miss this chance. The giveaway is already underway and ends on February 29th. The winner will be announced on March 1st. Good luck to all participants. Let the games begin. And for the first time, the trio reached the NBA Finals to face the Miami Heat, featuring the formidable Big Three of LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwyane Wade. In the previous year, they fell just short in the NBA Finals, as I've already shared on this channel. The Oklahoma team was young, talented, and full of energy. But this Miami Heat team was too good, too strong, too talented, and more experienced in NBA Finals, resulting in several closely contested games. However, victory was inevitable. A 4-1 victory for the powerhouse Miami Heat securing the first championship for the young LeBron James. After the elimination, the trio faced its first challenge: James Harden's expiring contract. Harden, who wanted a maximum contract, refused anything below $50 million after winning the Sixth Man of the Year award. However, the OKC considered that in the NBA Finals they had just lost. Harden averaged 12 points with a 37% shooting percentage, and they were reluctant to pay the luxury tax for a third maximum contract in the team. This is where Daryl Morey enters the story. As the person in charge of the Houston Rockets acquisitions, Morey saw the potential to transform Harden into the superstar of their team. He made an offer of Jeremy Lamb, Kevin Martin, plus 2 first-round picks, along with a maximum contract for the player. And thus, the Big Three was quickly dismantled, returning to being a duo. I know we made this video to talk about the trio, but now it's going to continue as a duo. Even with 1 star less, in the 2012 to 2013 season, the Oklahoma City Thunder had their best season in franchise history. They won 60 games, securing the top spot in the Western Conference. AD continued with his 28 points per game, and Westbrook still had his 23 points per game, both performing exceptionally well together. Kevin Martin, the newcomer, contributed 14 points per game, showing that he could be the 6th man to replace James Harden. It was an unforgettable season for the team, but they entered a playoff series that was worth forgetting. They eliminated James Harden's Houston Rockets in 6 games, with the Thunder playing without Westbrook, who suffered a meniscus injury. Durant, Reggie Jackson, and Kevin Martin stepped up to the challenge. However, in the conference semifinals against the strong defense of the Memphis Grizzlies, the Thunder couldn't advance, losing in just 5 games. Oklahoma fans were outraged, with the lingering question of what if Westbrook hadn't been injured, and how could a team with 60 regular season victories not get past Memphis? But it happened. In the 2013 draft, OKC used its available picks to select Steven Adams, the Aquaman, with the 12th overall pick, passing on Giannis Antetokounmpo, who was picked 15th. But after the draft, the worst was yet to come. Kevin Martin, James Harden's replacement, with only 1 season played for OKC, signed with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Nevertheless, Westbrook was returning from injury. Kevin Durant was still Kevin Durant, but nothing is so bad that it can't get worse, right? Less than a month into the 2013 to 2014 season, Westbrook injures his knee again and is out for another considerable period, leaving KB alone. Would it be a serious problem? Wrong. Kevin Durant became even better, averaging 32 points, 7.4 rebounds, 5.5 assists, ultimately winning the Most Valuable Player (MVP) title, leading the Oklahoma City Thunder to 59 victories and delivering a touching MVP award acceptance speech honoring his mother. In the middle of the season, Westbrook returned from injury and the team entered the playoffs healthy to face the team that eliminated them in the previous season, the Memphis Grizzlies. It was a series game by game, seeking revenge against the Grizzlies from the previous season. In the conference semifinals, they faced the Lob City Clippers. And in Game 1, it started with an absurdity. Oklahoma scored 8 points in the last 40 seconds to turn the game around and secure the victory, subsequently eliminating the Clippers in just 6 games. The 2014 to 2015 season brought nothing but disappointments for Oklahoma. Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook dealt with various injuries. The team lacked good draft picks and salary cap space to sign someone relevant to complement the team, leading to a painful outcome. 45 wins and 37 losses, tied with the Pelicans, but out of the playoffs for the first time since Kevin Durant's rise. From one season to another, a team that was a direct title contender found itself with Kevin Durant in an expiring contract in 2016. Jeremy Lamb, the last remnant of the James Harden trade, was traded for a second-round pick, and there were constant concerns about Westbrook's injuries, with high risks of something similar to Derrick Rose's career due to their explosive playing styles. In other words, it was desperation for the Thunder's front office. Overcoming off-court problems and just playing basketball, Kevin Durant continued with his incredible averages of 28 points. And Westbrook had his first double-double season with 23.5 points and 10 assists. The Thunder performed well in the regular season with 55 victories, a good mark for a team full of uncertainties, a significant maybe for the next season. But heading into the playoffs, they would face 2 small problems in the Western Conference, all the San Antonio Spurs and the Golden State Warriors. In the first round of the playoffs, the Thunder faced the Dallas Mavericks, led by the veteran Dirk Nowitzki. However, the Dallas team was not as strong as in their 2011 matchups, and OKC prevailed in 5 games. Their next challenge was the San Antonio Spurs, the team that had eliminated them 2 years earlier, boasting 67 victories in that season. This time, the OKC duo sought revenge for the previous defeat. The Thunder tied the series and claimed a 4-point victory in Game 5, earning them another trip to the conference finals and putting the Spurs behind them. However, the real challenge awaited them in the conference finals against the Warriors, who had the best regular season record in NBA history. To the surprise of many, the Thunder won game. The Warriors, led by Stephen Curry, leveled the series in game. Durant and Westbrook dominated games 3 and 4, giving the Thunder a very comfortable 3-1 series lead, just a step away from reaching the NBA Finals for the second time. They had a chance to deliver a title to Westbrook and Durant, and perhaps convince Durant to stay with the team. However, Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson had different plans. Along with the elimination came the end of the Oklahoma era. Kevin Durant signed a contract with the team that precisely eliminated the Oklahoma City Thunder, causing an absurd hatred from the Thunder's fan base towards him, and a feud with Russell Westbrook that led to various trash talks in the games they played against each other. The Thunder, now with only Russell Westbrook, never returned to glory. He stayed there for 3 more years, during which he had 3 seasons with triple-double averages, a feat unique to the team. He even won the MVP award in 2017, but was eliminated in the first round in all the playoffs. Durant then moved to play in Houston alongside James Harden in 2019. James Harden, the first of the 3 to leave, excelled in Houston, being considered one of the best players in NBA history in one-on-one plays and winning the MVP title in 2018. Although without success in the playoffs. Kevin Durant, despite all the criticism, became a champion with the star-studded Golden State Warriors roster twice, earning the Finals MVP both times. As for the Oklahoma City Thunder, who had 3 of the best scorers of the decade on their roster simultaneously, they simply fell short several times in a row and will forever be remembered for the near misses. Once again, one of the enduring and greatest what-ifs. What if they had stayed together? And that wraps up today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider subscribing down below and hit the notification bell to receive all the videos firsthand. Giving it a thumbs up strengthens the chance of this video reaching more basketball enthusiasts. Leave your comments down below about the era of these 3 Oklahoma players, and I'll see you in the next video. My social media links are in the description, so until next time, take care and goodbye.